Well, hello there everyone and welcome back to another live Thoughts at 3 online assembly. My name is Ellie, if we've not met before, and I am part of the schools team with Southampton City Mission. It is a pleasure to be with you this afternoon. Now, usually with Southampton City Mission, we would be going into schools. We would be doing RE Question of Faith days, assemblies, and even some Year 6 transition. But obviously, with the current pandemic, that is not the safest thing to be doing. We're keeping a safe social distance by doing this over the internet instead. So hello to all of you that are watching live, maybe on our Facebook or YouTube, or hello to those who are watching this slightly later. Now, all this week, we have been doing our Thoughts at 3 online assemblies all about moving on, as this is the time that Year 6 in particular get ready to move on to secondary school. But of course, everyone is getting ready to do that as they prepare for their next year at school, or maybe there's something else going on where you're ready to move on to a new stage of life. And today we are having our final part of this series. Oh, that's a shame. But don't worry, because it is a craft special. Oh, woohoo! I think you might have worked out, if you've met me before, that I love doing crafts. So as always, make sure you are joining in, especially those of you that are watching live. You can say hi in the comments, maybe get a shout out, let us know who you are, where we might know you from. And then we're going to be explaining how you can do your own very special, this way, time capsule craft, step by step. And you can always watch this back later if you need to pause and have a little go at making it yourself. As always, if you do take part in this challenge, we would love to see what you get up to. Maybe you can send a photo of your finished time capsule, either tag us on Instagram, email us, all the things going along the bottom there. So, as I've already mentioned, today's craft is going to be making a transition time capsule. But what is a time capsule? Well, perhaps you've heard of this before, but maybe not. Let me explain. A time capsule is a container of some kind that holds present day things. It is then hidden away to be opened again in the future. So with this being a time of change for lots of you, like those Year 6s moving on to secondary school, I thought what a brilliant time to capture some of these memories. Take a little snapshot of this time right now and have something to look back on in the future. But when in the future, you might be wondering? Well, these time capsules could just be hidden away and buried for years and years and years. But today, I'm going to suggest that this is a special time capsule for 5 years in the future. So we are sealing it up today in 2020, and we're going to open it up again in 5 years' time, 2025. I've chosen 5 years because actually for those Year 6s, that is going to be another special time of change. In 2025, they will be 16 years old. You will be just finishing Year 11. So for lots of you, that's the end of secondary school. You might stay on for sixth form, you might go somewhere else, but it's going to be another time of change. So wow, how amazing in 5 years' time to have this special memento to look back on. Okay, so I think it's about time we get started, and I will start to explain what things you are going to be making, creating, gathering together to put in your time capsule. Now, I should say now, everything I'm suggesting is optional. You can fill your time capsule with whatever you want, but I've come up with a few ideas which I think will be really good to snapshot now and look back on in 5 years' time, okay? If you are joining in, then hopefully you've got some resources ready, or maybe you can just watch this later on after you've seen what we're going to be doing. So, the first thing I said you might need is some pens and paper, because we're going to be writing down some of the things about you and about what's going on right now. So I've got my little clipboard here just so I can show you. And the first thing we're going to be doing and recording is a little fact sheet all about me. This is your individual time capsule. Obviously, you will do it about you. I'll do it about me. And what I thought would be good was to have a little kind of fact file so you can look back and see if any of this changes over time. Now, I've done this on coloured paper. You could do it however you want. I just like loads of felt tip pens and colourful things. Maybe you can even type it and print it, completely up to you. So, all about me. What kind of things do you want to put on here? Well, the first thing I thought that would be really good is a photo. So I printed off ready a little photo of me. This is actually me from behind the scenes of one of our other Thoughts at 3 assemblies. So it's a very up-to-date photo. If you don't have a picture, or maybe you don't have a printer right now, then maybe you could draw a little mini self-portrait to go in that box instead. But I'm going to stick my picture in there like that. Part 1, a nice photo. Because actually, we probably will look a little bit different in 5 years' time. Especially if you're in primary school and going to be in secondary school by then, I bet you're going to have changed quite a bit. Then we want some other details. So probably a good idea to put your name down. Now, not many people know this, but actually, my name is Eleanor. You might know my middle name because we discussed it when we looked at Ruth, the Bible character, the other week. And I can put my surname down there as well. But I bet there's a lot of you that don't actually go by that and you have a nickname. Now, this might be something which everyone calls you, or maybe just those closest friends. I think you probably know that I don't often get called Eleanor unless I'm in trouble. So I actually always go by Ellie. So I'm going to put that down there. I can't see that changing. I've been Ellie for the last 27 years, but you never know. In 5 years, when I open this up again, maybe I'll be called something else. Okay. Now, you might want to put down where you live, because actually we don't always stay in the same house forever. Maybe in 5 years' time that will have changed. Maybe you've moved. For now, though, for me, I actually live in Fareham. So I'm kind of just outside Southampton, kind of between Southampton and Portsmouth, but I live in Fareham at the moment. Now, of course, this is for all of you who are preparing to move on in school, so why don't you put down which school you go to? I'm a little bit too old to go to school, but with my amazing job with Southampton City Mission, I get to go into lots of them. So I think I'm just going to put down Southampton City Mission. Maybe if there are any grown-ups watching this, you could write your job or your work or something like that instead. So I'm going to put Southampton City Mission, just like that. Okay, a few other things you might want to try and jot down now, think about. Then when you look back, it might have changed. I'm going to put down my age. I am 27. My height. Now, you could do this in feet and inches or maybe centimetres. I think I'm 171 centimetres, about 5'7". And my shoe size is a 6. Now, I'm presuming that now I've reached 27, my height and my shoe size probably aren't going to change. But I bet when I was in year 6, it was a lot shorter. And probably a lot smaller than that too. So jot it down. It would be great to see how it changes. So there is part 1, all about me. You can present it however you want, but a little kind of fact file. So when you come to crack this open, you can see what things were like. Now we're going to keep going with the pens and pencils, just to record a few more details about yourself. And again, I've got this ready as a poster, kind of a colourful picture, mind map. You can do this however you want. You can type it, you can write it, you could create some kind of art piece to show this, completely up to you. But my second little page here is all about my favourite things. I think it's really interesting to record down some of your favourites. Because although you might like these things the best now, will that still be the case in 5 years' time? I don't know. Maybe in 5 years' time you will have forgotten what your favourite song was. So write it down now and then seal it away in your time capsule and we'll see how things change. So I've come up with a few little list of favourite things here. Favourite colour, you might want to put that down. I'm going to write purple for mine. That has been my favourite for a while now. Do you have a favourite song that you listen to? Maybe a favourite book, one you've just read? Favourite film, what kind of movie do you like? I've also put favourite food, your favourite game or toy, and any favourite hobbies you have as well. Now, I think you probably know some of these for me. My favourite hobby is, well, I'm going to put 2 down. I do like any kind of craft, obviously, painting, drawing, cutting, sticking, it's all fun. But I do like baking as well. Any kind of a cake or cookie in particular. So I'm going to put craft and baking. My favourite game or toy, and I don't know if you're into kind of the computer games. My husband loves his PlayStation. For me, I love the board games best. And my favourite board game is one called Catan. And you kind of roll the dice and try and build things, and there's lots of different resources, and I love that. So I'm going to put that down. I think I've got a few more things to fill in here. My favourite food, without a doubt, is waffles. Don't know if anyone agrees with that. Maybe if you're watching along live, you can put in the comments some of your favourite things that you're going to write down. My favourite book. Ooh, do you know what? I feel like I'm going to have to put the Bible. We've been hearing so much recently about some of those amazing stories. There's amazing people in the Bible. So I'm going to put that down. But there are some other great ones out there too. I just started reading the Chronicles of Narnia. Read the first one of that, which I've not read before. Quite enjoying it. Then, favourite film. Mine is actually a bit of an old one now. But I really like the Pirates of the Caribbean films. I'm going to put that down there. I don't know, maybe in the next 5 years, another film would have come out and I would have loved that so much more. And then my favourite song, oh, that is a tricky one. I do quite like a bit of Ed Sheeran sometimes. I quite like Beyonce too. But I think my favourite song, it's going to have to be a really old one. I like this song called Dancing with Yourself. It's really upbeat and I like it. So that's some of my favourite things. Have a think about yours, and it's a good way of recording what's going on. Okay, poster number 2. I've got one final piece of paper that I think would be really interesting to record, and this is all about your future predictions. So as I said, this time capsule is going to be sealed away today, or whenever you've made yours, and not opened up again until the year 2025. 5 years' time. What do you think life will be like? What will you be like? There's so many questions. And of course, we don't know the answers, but it's really interesting to see what our guesses might be and see how things actually turn out. So I put 4 questions down here for us to have a think about. The first one says, where will you be? Now, we've already discussed, those of you that are in year 6, you'll be in year 11. Do you know which school that will be? Do you think it will still be the same school, or are you going to have moved? Are you still going to be living where you're living now? Where will you be? My next question says, what will you know / what will you be doing? So I'm thinking in 5 years' time, will you have learned something new? Is there any skills you will have gained? Is there anything that you're really hoping to have achieved by the time you get to 2025? Maybe if you're about to start secondary school, there's a lesson that you've never had before. Are you going to learn a new language? Are you going to learn a new sport? Are you hoping to have mastered juggling? This is still one of my things. I've said I'll do it in lockdown. I'm not mastering it yet. So maybe there'll be something else that by 2025 you think you will know or be able to do. My next 2 questions then are more about the world at large, not just your life, but the whole world. How will the world have changed, and what will be in the news? So this is kind of what's the top headlines. Obviously, at the moment, it's all about coronavirus and lockdown. Surely that won't still be the case in 2025. Will there be something else in the news? Will it be something to do with different countries, to do with our leadership, to do with the royal family? Will it be something to do with space travel? I don't know. What would be your prediction? And what will have? How will the world have changed? Well, I kind of hope that we'll be in a better place kind of ecologically. I know the world is suffering a bit, so I'm kind of hoping in the future that the world will be in a better place. The waters will be cleaner. There'll be less plastic. There'll be less pollution. Maybe I'm a bit hopeful there. I'm hoping it will be a better change rather than a change for the bad, though. But maybe also there'll be an advancement in technology, something like that. So what do you hope and predict for the future? I've got some people commenting along. So Teresa says she's reading Narnia too. Great book, so that might be on her little favourites. But for her future predictions, she would like to be able to play the piano. So a new skill there, Teresa. Start learning. You've got 5 years. I'm sure you can take it on. That's a brilliant challenge and skill to set yourself. So I'm going to have a go at filling mine in. I'm going to say that where will I be? I will probably still be somewhere near Southampton. I didn't grow up in this area. I've kind of lived around Hampshire for the last few years though, and I really like it. So I think I will probably still be here. What will you know or be doing? Well, I feel like now I've said it, I'm going to have to put juggling down. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to juggle by then. But you know, I'm also trying to learn the ukulele as a musical instrument. I know about 4 chords now, but I'm hoping in 5 years' time I'll be a lot more confident and maybe know a little bit more. How will the world have changed? Well, I think there's definitely going to be more technology. I reckon they might, 5 years' time. Do you reckon they'll have self-driving cars by then? I'm going to put it down, we'll see. I reckon that, you know, there'll be some very clever technology of cars which drive themselves. Self-driving cars. And I think what will be in the news, I'm hoping there'll be some really good news in 5 years' time. And it will be all about clean oceans, that we've managed to not kill them. Single-use plastic doesn't exist, and all the animals are safe. That's my hope anyway. It doesn't matter if we get them right or wrong, but it'll be interesting to look back in 5 years' time and see if we were close to reality at all. So we've had a go at writing down some of those kind of 3 different posters, facts about you, your favourite things, and maybe also some of our predictions for the future. But that's not the only thing that goes in a time capsule. Normally, time capsules are a place for storing objects as well, special mementos and memories that you want people to see and look back on yourself in the future, things from right now. So I've come up with a few other ideas of things that I would like to put in my time capsule. Firstly, I've got some photos. Now I've printed off some photos here of me and some friends. These are all from this last year, obviously before lockdown because we're very close, but having friends round for a good meal, going on holiday with some friends, going to a big event where I'm dressed up as a pizza slice for some reason, but it was a really good memory. So those are all going to go in my time capsule. But I've also got a photo of my family here as well. Now this one you can probably tell is during lockdown, and it was from the other weekend when I had a socially distant walk with my parents and my siblings, and it was lovely to see them even if from a distance. And I love that this photo will be a really good way of remembering how we had to stay apart. It won't be for forever, but what a great memento to remember this strange COVID-19 time. So that's going to go in my box as well. But it doesn't just have to be memories. It could also be some objects. Now, maybe you've got something special from your time at school right now. Is there a special pencil or pencil case that you can hide away? Maybe something your teacher gave you. Maybe if you're going to be finishing at primary school, you've got a special kind of tie or badge or logo that you can hide away, as long as you're not using it still for the next couple of weeks. Well, I came up with a few ideas of things which I think I might like to include, which are all to remind me of this time, these last few weeks where we've been doing our online assemblies and our learning packs and how I've been working but in lockdown. So I've got a few ideas. You might recognise some of these. Firstly, I'm deciding to put in mine my musical clacker here. If you've seen some of our other craft assemblies, you'll see we did one where we made musical instruments. And I think this was a really good way to remind me of things I like doing and what I've been up to. So that's going to go in my container. I've then also got one of my painted stones, which we did for SEM stones. If you haven't checked that out yet, this is a Facebook group where we paint and decorate stones, hide them around the city, let other people find them and re-hide them. And this is just one which I never got around to hiding. So I'm going to put in my time capsule to remind me of that. I've also got here my very own pair of wobbly legs. If you've ever had Southampton City Mission in your school, you might have seen us tell this story before. Or maybe you saw Matt do it in one of our other earlier assemblies. But we love telling the story of the man with wobbly legs. And this is a pair I made myself to help tell that story of when Jesus healed the paralysed man. So they are going to go in my time capsule. And then the very last object I'm going to put in, you might think this is a bit strange, but it is a rubber glove, a luminous green rubber glove. Now, don't worry, this is a clean one. This isn't one I've worn out and about. But as part of this time in lockdown, I spent a few days helping with the Basics Bank. Southampton City Mission is a charity that helps people all across the city with some of their basic needs like food. And to do that, to make sure we were staying hygienic and safe, we all got to wear rubber gloves. And I just loved that some of these were in some crazy bright colours. And actually I wore a pair of green rubber gloves when I was going to visit one of the secondary schools to drop off their It's Your Move booklets, which we are giving out to year sixes all across the city. To make sure it's nice and safe and hygienic, we were wearing gloves, and I managed to sneak an extra one to go especially in my time capsule to remember this time. So I've got my objects, I've got my pieces of paper. It's time to gather them all together and put them away. And to do this, you're going to need some kind of container. Now, I said a small container. It kind of depends how much stuff you've got and what material you can find to store it all in. So I've got a few different ideas here. You might be able to find something like this, a nice biscuit tin. Maybe you've got a bigger tub, which used to have some chocolates in. Maybe you want to go for a bit of a different shape, maybe something like a jar with a lid, or even a plastic bottle, if you can poke things down the hole. I have decided to go for an ice cream tub. I've got the lid to go with it as well. And basically, if you know me, you know I like to raid the recycling bin. And this is what I found, an ice cream tub, which I think will be perfect for storing all of those things. What I've started to do is I've started to decorate it. So this is just a piece of paper which I've stuck on. I've written Ellie's time capsule. On the other side, I've written the date that it's going to be sealed and the date that we're going to open it up again. Again, just got some of my favourite pens there. And what you're going to do is put everything inside. So there's my objects. I'm then going to put all my posters in there as well. These are going to get folded up to go in. Obviously, if you're doing kind of a long tube shape, you can roll these up like a scroll piece of paper in a bottle maybe, and try and put everything inside. Not forgetting my All About Me poster. Okay, and there they are, all inside with my objects as well, ready to be sealed. Now, when you think you're happy with everything that's on the inside, I do suggest you seal it. Why are you sealing it? Well, it's kind of to stop the temptation of having a sneak peek, because I want you to almost forget about it and not remember it until 5 years' time when you open it up again. So if you're happy with everything inside, get your sticky tape out and go around sealing the whole thing. So there's no sneak peek. It is there, sealed for 5 years. Okay, there we go. Mine is completely sealed there. I'm not going in that again until 2025. But how are you going to remember what this box is that you've hidden away and what you're meant to do with it? Well, there's one little bit of extra decoration that I suggest you create. I'm going to stick this on the lid. And I have written 2 dates, or I'm about to write 2 dates. One is the date that you seal it, and one is the date that you're going to open it up again. So when you hide this away, whether that's in your loft, in the garage, under your bed, buried in the garden if you really want, you know exactly when you're allowed to open it up again. Today's date is the 3rd of July. And the year is, of course, 2020. So that means I'm not going to open this box again until the 3rd of July, 2025. There it is. The instructions are written on. My last task is to just stick this onto the lid of my box. Just got some double-sided sticky tape on the back ready there. And there we have it, my very own time capsule, sealed, full with memories and mementos from this time, ready to be opened and looked back on in 5 years' time. So, If you do have a go at making your own time capsule, we would love to see what you get up to. And I really hope you enjoy having the opportunity to think about this special time we're in. Don't forget it. Enjoy the memories we've made, even if it has been a strange time during lockdown, and keep those memories safe. And so it will be something really enjoyable to look back on in the future. I'm going to say a prayer now to finish. If you want to join in, you can say Amen at the end. It just means I agree. Let's pray. Dear God, thank you for the journey we are all on in life. As we prepare for this time of change, help us to not forget everything that has led to this point. Thank you for our friends and teachers, the things we've learned, and the memories we have made. Please help us in our future, because whilst we might not know what it's going to be like, we can trust in you who knows it all and loves us. If you would like to agree, you can say Amen. Well, I've just got one more thing to say, which is, of course, have a brilliant weekend, but do come back and join us next week, because on Monday, we are starting our brand new series, which is all about Meet the Team. We are going to be interviewing and introducing to you one of our school's team members every day for the next couple of weeks. And so I hope that you will join Matt on Monday, where he will be interviewing me. I feel like you've got to know me a little bit more today already, but I would love to share a little bit more about my life, about why I joined Southampton City Mission, and what I love most about being part of the schools team with SEM. So I hope you join us. That's Monday, the 6th of July, 3 o'clock as always. But for now, have a brilliant rest of your day. Enjoy the weekend, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.